kill time this weekend. We also see that Twist of Fate has gone minion I can't even fucking say this.
Dematerializer.
That's it.
That's the word. I'm usually the one that stumbles over my words. I don't have an excuse though. I just can't speak.
It may or may not be the half a bottle of rum that I drank during this cast and stream, so.
Everyone's drinking.
I believe I started it because I was doing it before the stream started. I had such a massive headache and it's no longer here.
Well, it worked, right? So
yeah, got the job done.
Alright, we'll be seeing if there are any level 1 plays. They're pinging the bot lane, maybe looking to walk through it. This is a bit of a weird pathing. They ran through their jungle to the bot lane.
They might go for that like cringe where you stay on. I think they're gonna go for the bush. Yeah.
Okay, Seraphine and Brand are in this bush, so if they can get this Nautilus hook, it'll be big. Don't get caught on the wall. Okay, onto the Brand, gonna knock him up. He will have to burn the flash over the wall, and that's fine.
Yeah,
that's a relatively all you need from it. Is just to burn a flash.
Yeah, I mean you essentially got flash for nothing, so that's very good.
It's very helpful, especially when you're playing, as I was talking about in this lane, it's going to be so important where the Nautilus can get these hooks onto the Brand in lane. Because if you kill Brand, there's no real threat. So burning the flash early can be big. And really mean you can apply a lot more pressure onto the Brand.
Mm-hmm. I wonder how the early lane is also going to go, because the Senna is going to have such a ranged advantage there. And with the flash as well, they're going to have to play it a bit more safe. Other than that, are we expecting any early level engages? Because both junglers are starting on the different sides of the map, so we're probably not expecting them to meet for scuttles, right? Because we're expecting Volibear to path top, get that scuttle, Nunu pathing bot, and getting bot scuttle. Oh.
Okay, immediately the Nautilus are going onto the Brand again, getting good poke damage onto him, and he's already chunked down to half health, and this is exactly what we're talking about with the Nautilus.
That's exactly what you were saying, right? With when you don't have the flash and then Nautilus hooks you, it's just and we see the early level 2 gank in mid lane.
Yeah, Han's gonna have to burn his flash to get away from Nunu. Nunu is a hell of a champion. He can just snowball and you're like, oh, well, I guess I'm dead. Like he's trying to snowball in half the river, so I guess I have to burn flash or die.
Yeah, that's an interesting one. But we also see the potential invade here by the Volibear, because the Nunu obviously is level 2 because of that early gank.
Okay, this is a great response. Gonna make Tumble have to burn his flash and maybe looking for the solo kill here. Gonna burn PTA, almost looking for the kill here. Gonna get the auto reset, but just managing to get to his tower. But still, he can't do anything. He has to give up his red buff here, and with the backup from his bot lane as well, and his mid laner, he's just gonna get this buff for 3, and this is a huge swing in the jungle tempo.
Yeah, that's a very big deal. It's also super unlucky that he didn't get the kill there, but well played by Tizans to make sure that he doesn't die, because then that would have been very, very difficult for him to get back into the jungle. Fuck it, whatever. I didn't know the word I was looking for.
He would have been really out of the jungle game, really.
Yes,
exactly. They would have just pushed him way too far. At least he didn't die, and he can go back up and try and get that top rift scuttle rather than just immediately going out of the game. And
Nunu's also just running straight for that top scuttle because she knows that. But they are collapsing on her. Nah, this is gone. He's got smite. Yeah. Okay,
but maybe looking a bit of danger here. If TF gets the yellow card, and Volibear's going to get the speed boost from his Q, but Zum's managing to just get away, and it's exactly what you want to see from your jungler, though, is the immediate proactive play. So Nunu ganked the mid lane and made Han spun his flash, so you go, alright, well, I know what level he is, I know exactly where he's going, and Trey's gone on the bottom lane as well. Senna's getting chunked really low, and she's about gonna have to burn in one of her pots, and Nautilus managing
she burns both, I think.
Yeah, she did actually. She took her own shield, actually, funnily enough.
Yeah.
That's surprising.
I see a gank top side. Ghost used by the Nasus, and yeah, he's safe.
Yeah, I haven't been a summoner, but I said a while ago about, you see that gank mid, and Volley immediately goes, okay, I know exactly where he is, I've got the confidence, I'm walking into his jungle, I'm punishing him. And using the re-gank here as well, and I was talking earlier how Luke is one of their style players because he can create so much pressure, and flashing the mastery, and
It's
Hans
just
is nearly
dead.
getting solo killed here, and gonna fall to Paul Jr. in the mid lane. I'm not too sure what happened there before, but
Oh,
okay, nice hook onto the Brand. Gonna get the follow-up route with Senna as well, but getting stunned by the Brand means she can't really follow up. Exhaust burned onto her by Seraphine, but that means she had stepped too far. Flash burn from her in response to the Nautilus Ignite. Nautilus hook will be up soon to maybe go up for the follow-up play. Gonna get the route with the auto into the queue, and the follow-up Seraphine route as well, gonna mean that she can pick up the kill, and
very nice.
very nice play.
Yeah, very nice, very nice. That gets him the priority here. He's probably going to try and shove this as well, then recall. On the other side, I believe what happened with Hans in the mid lane is we saw him be very, very low on mana. I think he was like almost out of mana and very low on HP, but he tried to stick around to get that last couple of wave CS, and then they just got engaged on.
Yeah, it really does suck when you hand over that solo kill, especially when it was first blood as well. But nice response from the bot lane, picking up the slack, managing to get the pick off for themselves.
Yeah.
And honestly, I don't think they should win the early game. As I was talking about, it's possible for Nautilus to get the game. Brand is a hell of a bitch in lane, right? I ban this champion in solo queue when I'm playing ADC.
Mm-hmm.
I hate it. I have to dodge all his skill shots or I die in one combo, right?
Yeah, he's super damage heavy, especially early. And then you consider the fact that he also has Ignite as well. That is a rough one.
So managing to get that early kill is really good for the bottom lane of Senna, which is clearly the more scaling version. Is clearly the more scaling lane.
Yeah.
They got.
Yep. Sorry.
No, it's fine. I just mentioned how they got a freeze going on as well, making it so the Brand can't even step up to the wave.
Mm.
He is now, but he wasn't before. I promise.
Right, that's the worst thing that can happen as a coach. You're like, yeah, it's the same thing with me. I was like, yeah, this should be, a very boring early game. Both junglers shouldn't meet each other, and they're like, well, shit.
Yeah, well, he walked into his jungle, so they did meet.
So there was a level 2 gank, and then after that, there was an invade.
I may have been wrong, but it's fine.
I digress.
Hall Jr. really putting a lot of pressure on here, and over the wall, getting a big Nautilus hook into the follow-up from the center route as well, meaning the Eternal Ether's just going to drop, and beautiful hook from Callow there, and
yeah, I also like that these. Yeah, I also like that these ganks are happening pre-6, so you do not have to be afraid of the like AOE damage from Brand anymore, because he's not going to be able to stack it even if you bunch up S3.
Yeah, it was Callow, just very, very good Nautilus hooks. I was talking about how important it was in draft, in this bot lane, that he finds these hooks onto the right people and showing the fruition of that. But Christian may be looking to punish.
I like when you try and freeze the wave and then you lose like 30% of your HP.
He's like, all right, well, I tried, but I did lose 50% of my HP. But he is Garen, so he will heal it up a bit over time.
Oh,
and again, looking for another hook and managing to get it again into the yellow card, follow up into the center W, and oh my god, is there a hook this man can't hit? Jesus Christ, he is making this look free.
Yeah, and they're essentially playing towards their team comp's win condition, right? That's what we said with TF ult, and then that roam ability is just being used extremely effectively, and it's so impressive. And then, as I 100% agree with you as well, Callow's been playing very well with the Nautilus hooks there.
Almost every kill on the bot lane has purely been down to Callow's engaging. Luke flashing in, going to go for the tower dive, turn off the tower, and Callow following up, getting the ult in from the yellow card into the center ult as well, and oh my word, Callow picks up the kill, rightfully so. Give this man some money.
Yeah. They're just... Their map rotations are so... can't even speak anymore. Their map rotations are very impressive currently. They're using their... It's essentially what I've seen in certain Chinese teams, where they're just like, well, this is our win condition, and we're going to roam with our bot support and our jungler, and then we're going to use the TPs as well, and it's very impressive. And, I mean, they get rewarded, right? They're essentially 2.2 thousand ahead at 9 minutes into the game. However, then also... I shouldn't have drank the rum. The Nasus is ahead in CS, and he is a ticking time bomb. I will have to speak like an actual degenerate.
I was going to mention as well. I didn't touch upon it much in draft, but yeah, the TF was such a huge prio pick early in this season's meta, with especially in pro play, with his global presence and just making sure you get a kill out of every ult is so important for TF, and it can make
Yeah.
or break games. And managing to find that, and also talking about the Nautilus center lane, every time Callow has landed these insane hooks, February's been there right back to back it up with a center W. So every time they're getting these chain CCs, they're ordering it correctly. Even when the TF came as well, they didn't immediately do the CC. They waited until Yellow card someone's up, follow up again, and then follow up again. Each of these important small things is just making it so that they can push their advantage even further, and they're not getting sloppy, and they're executing well.
Yeah, 100%. I also wonder now if Luke Carana on the Volibear is going to plan to maybe rotate mid or bot side, since he well, we have a break, so now I can actually say what I wanted. Because he has got the Rift Herald that he's holding on to, so, and he has got 2 pink wards as well, so he's going to be able to get to whichever place he decides to plan and drop it. He can get there and get rid of vision as well to make sure that he isn't spotted. And if you have the choice here, you have a very accelerated Senna. She's essentially 20 CS up, 2 kills and 2 assists. The TF sure has 2 assists, but however he has died in lane as well versus the Velcros, who's ahead in CS as well as that first blood. So then if you're the Volibear here, where do you want to plan and get that Rift Herald? Is it top side because Drake is spawning and you want to get a push there, or is it mid and then have that lane push and then try and rotate into Drake? Or what would your decision making be in this situation?
If it's just straight up an option, like it'll be important to where the lanes are, of course, but mid lane is always the most important turret in the game, because it's central on the map. Mid lane is the most important lane. And it is important that you shut down this Nasus at a point. I do think that this is the thing with Nasus, and we joke about it in Invol sometimes, that you don't want to gank a Nasus because it's a Nasus, right? He's not winning lane, but he is, but he's not destroying a laner, right? You're fine against him, and you're like, and the Garen's probably going to his team like, no, it's fine, I don't need a gank, this Nasus ain't gonna kill me.
Yeah.
But Nasus doesn't want to kill you. That's not his plan.
Yeah,
he
he
wants
doesn't
these
care.
waves, he wants to stack this, and you just need to shut him down and make sure he can't do that. So I think that's important, but I don't think putting Rift Herald up top is the answer, because then he just pushes the tower and then he just gets to farm even safer back. So I think mid lane is probably the idea, or bot lane if you manage to get a pick here, which might happen if Callow gets another godlike hook.
Yeah. Okay. So the second Drake is going to be spawning in around 30 seconds, and Nunu as well as Velcos have come bot lane here.
Okay, maybe looking to get the snowball onto Carlo. Carlo going to get away, and the center route lands onto the Nunu, making sure that he takes a little bit of punish and is soul ripped out.
If they get this scuttle, that is going to be a lot of priority for the river in this Drake fight and Drake contest.
I can't believe they didn't.
Oh, Garen!
Okay, Garen almost solo dying to Nasus there.
Yeah.
Nasus does not have any mana, so maybe he didn't need to flash there, but still, keeping it safe, making sure don't hand over any kills.
Yep. However, that flash is now missing for any potential team fight, and I wonder if he's going to use TP to get topside. No. Oh, engage.
Okay, oh my god, lovely hook, flash hook over the wall for Callow again, and another insane engage from him, and Luke following up with the Volibear ult, pushing the Seraphine away, burning the Seraphine out as well, and oh my word, Callow is a monster this game.
Yeah, Callow's been... I guess someone pissed him off because he's actually just playing out of this world. His performance this game has been extremely impressive. He's essentially ensured every single engage is very well timed. He's layering the CC, and then you have February or Hands making sure that they then support his engage by then layering the CC from their prospective champions. He is very impressive so far.
Yeah, like it's almost every kill is just solely down to Callow. Like, I mean, his team is following up beautifully, and maybe ND being a bit of problem here. Almost getting killed by...
Oh.
Okay. Brand damage coming through, chunking them out a bit, but it might just mean nothing. The Rift Tower's going to get the charge, and they're probably going to make this tower fall, but TF is here for the follow-up as well. Nautilus, going onto the Brand. Seraphine Root going to land. Going to burn the flash on the Brand. This was the worst time to start hiccuping, but the slow from the volley bear going to mean they can get away safely with the Centimus and burn the TP from Hall Jr. as well.
Yeah. I was also going to mention that we have an Infernal Soul being the soul for this last game of the day, as well as, remember when you said that the Garen might be telling his team that, yeah, the Nasus can't kill me in a 1v1, but, you know, yeah, I think he can. We've seen him in these situations. He is starting to hurt. I'm actually going to check. He is on 250 stacks right now, 30 minutes into the game.
Definitely not bad, and yeah, no, that's what I was kind of saying. He's probably saying that, but I meant he was wrong. Like, he's going to get to a point where, like, sure, he's saying, okay, well, for the first 50 minutes of the game, this Nasus wasn't killing me, and maybe he's showing here that
he's baiting so good. He's baiting so good.
He is baiting for Luke, and okay, the flash Q follow-up. Nasus does have ult, but it might not be enough because his ult team is here to follow up, but is MTB going to fall? Going to get the trade 1-for-1, but a 4v1, and you trade a 1-for-1 is kind of completely okay, but when your lane's getting shoved, it might not be that good. Nice attempt, but might not be enough.
Yeah.
But as I was saying before, you do get the point where you're like, okay, well, it's fine. It doesn't matter if the Nasus isn't solo killing me, but he's getting strong enough to the point where he will be able to do it, and then he'll be able to take on your whole team. But
100%.
You know, Ruin King's noticing that and accepting it and going, okay, well, we're going to collapse on you and make sure that we do shut you down, at least for this first bit. Not quite getting a tower, but going to shove in another wave.
Yeah. We also see that is a very significant CS lead in bot side. Mid lane is essentially perfectly even at 103 CS, and top side there is a TP as well as, oh my god, there's a collapse.
Okay, TP and the TF coming through, going to go on to the Seraphine. They're all going to come through, but it might be a little too late. Brando just going on the Garen and not getting any bounces. That's not what you want to see when Hands is the one being low, and you know, just another pick onto the bot lane here, and maybe showing that this Brand Seraphine lane was not the pick, and Hall Jr. pushing up as well when he knows his team was just top lane and getting picked off himself as well. And oh my word, off-roll Aquarium is maybe falling apart at the seams here, and they need to pick it back up or they can't keep handing over these picks.
Yeah, I wonder if the communication is a bit broken down, because it just seems a bit disjointed in these situations. Like that Vel'Koz pushing up. I don't know why you're trying to push up into that turret when there's massive fog of war. You don't have vision of either side of the river. It's so obvious that you've seen there's 3 people top. And then you also, I don't know. But then also, I mean, I just want to praise. Callow and Vince have been rotating incredibly well, and they're reaping those rewards. And then also Garen, right? He is essentially losing top side, but he manages to get a TP bot and then make sure that his team still gets ahead. The only question mark here I will have, the later this game goes on, is that Nasus is a bit scary.
He definitely is, and but I will be honest, if you're the side of Ruin Kings, you might not be too worried at this point, because there really is no other threat. They're fully in on this Nasus right now, I feel like, and the Seraphine can help that, but you know, every other lane is currently falling a bit behind. Even the Vel'Koz, who did get the early solo kill, is now falling behind due to TF's rotations, meaning that he is able to get a lot more value out of that. And the Nasus is now grouped with a team, and it does look like they're going to go for a siege.
Yeah, they're trying to break this tier 1 turret here in the mid lane before the Drake spawn in 25 seconds, because that is going to give them a massive amount of priority rotating, as well as just mid lane priority is ensured a lot more. We have the TF is going to have his well, not TP, his ultimate up within essentially now. Yeah, it's up now. And Garen needs to stay here because his TP is gone, and we see it.
Okay, stun onto the Nasus and engage, but he is alone, and the Seraphine ult into the Vel'Koz ult is going to chunk him out, enough to take down the volley bear, but Callow is also dropping as well. MDB going to go through, pick up a kill for himself. Senna trying to deal with the Nasus, but the Nasus is getting kited, and he can't really finish off the kill. Going to flash forward for the finishing, and it's 2 for 2 right now. Even team fight, but the 3 people left alive include this Senna, who is currently pretty large. And the enemy and the bot lane on the side of off-roll Aquarium is definitely not quite as strong. So this will be a hard fight to take if they do want to contest this dragon still. Neither jungler is alive, so it is possible for a steal. Seraphine maybe going to look for it. Not quite enough. Bit too early. And Ruin King's just going to pick up the Infernal. And this is a big Infernal. They are one away now from the Soul.
But I will say, in that team fight, Ruin Kings almost completely got obliterated because they were very, very arrogant when it came to that Brandle. That Brandle, if you rewatch that fight, it was jumping around the backline of Ruin Kings, I don't know, like 50 million times, and everyone suddenly lost their HP bars there because of that Brandle. That's very dangerous, and they need to be aware of them clumping up like that is very, very dangerous when the Brand gets a good ult and it is jumping around. They are collapsing on the Nasus, however.
Yeah, Nasus maybe getting a bit too greedy here. Callow going to come up, get a knock up, and chain his CC together nicely, make sure Hans can get a rotation. The T-Zums is here down the back, but it doesn't matter. The Nasus falls, and then T-Zums falls in response as well, and a 2-for-0, and that was just, once again, too far pushed up. You don't have your tower there, and they're all missing. What are you doing?
Yeah, and very nice map rotations to see that that player is bunched too far up, and then just straight up punishing him and being prepared to use a lot of ultimates and a lot of pressure. Oh, engage.
Okay, and keep going on now. Going on to Brother Crow on the Brand, and he really can't get away. Tries to burn the flash to get away. Velcros are going to come through, finish off, and clean up 2 of them. Seraphine not burned, but got nothing with it. But the 2 kills did come through, so not bad.
Yeah. This game is still not over. That you can see the potential of Off-Roll Aquarium's team composition. They do have the damage. It's just almost every time, even if they get some kind of team fight that is relatively even or even ahead for them, it's just they get punished because Ruin Kings have just such good map movements. Every single time I've seen someone push up, greedily trying to get damage on a turret, push up a wave, they're there with the TF ult to punish it, and it's very, very well executed so far.
Yeah, no, definitely. There's a lot of there is a lot of shining lights, we would say, for the side of Off-Roll Aquarium. They do still have this big wombo combo of Seraphine ult into Brando into Velcro's ult. It's just a lot of damage, even if it is OAP. And we do see a lot of MR picked up on the side of Ruin Kings. It's just a lot of damage, and sometimes you can't just outplay damage, you know. So we will see if they can get those big chain ults, if that will be enough to clutch out the game. And it's not a huge difference. It's 5k gold. It's definitely notable. Almost 6k, 5k gold difference. And the big difference here is the Senna, of course, creating the extra gold. The gold may be inflated a little bit because TF passive and Senna passive both give extra gold to the side of both of them. So that is maybe inflating it a little bit, but it is still relevant because obviously they both can pick up more items.
Yeah. What I will say, though, is in certain fights now, I have seen that the Nasus is starting to not be able to get killed very easily. It takes a decent amount of spells and a decent amount of time to chunk his his HP bar down. So if he gets into the backline in any of these fights, he is going to be one nightmare to deal with. However, we do see, so there's one important thing for Ruin Kings right now. There is 1 minute and 10 seconds for the Infernal Drake, which is going to be sole point for Ruin Kings. They really want to get this Drake.
Yeah, no, it's looking like they set up the early vision around the Infernal Drake about 1 minute and 30 before it spawned, and they're hovering around here to make sure that they keep that that vision for the fight, which is very nice to see. They're going to sweep this bush, maybe look to try and get this wombo combo that we're talking about.
Yeah.
But the side of Ruin Kings is just recalling right now before the Drake. Maybe they're thinking they can get a reset beforehand. This just shows how committed Off-Roll Aquarium is to fighting this Drake. And that's what Soul Point creates, right? This insane fear that, okay, we have to get vision around this Drake. And we have to make sure we're there. Because if we're not, they get Infernal Drake. And that's such a huge advantage to a team.
However, overall Aquarium is in a very good position. They've had a lot of time to set up vision. I would have liked the vision to be a bit further up because they have no vision here, but now we're going to see the standoff. It's 6 seconds before the Infernal Drake spawns. Both teams are prepared here. One in the Drake pit, the other one is preparing to engage. They are just burning
through it immediately and just going to jump through. Maybe even just go for the steal if they can and going to jump onto it. And they're not going to get the Dragon, but they're going to get the Seraphine ult and the Vel'Koz ult. But it might not be enough damage. That's most of their damage come through already, and they couldn't pick off many kills. Okay, they're just going to catch up 2 of them, and they're just... The Garen's got a triple kill. He's maybe looking for more, going to go for more, but the Vel'Koz kiting back nicely. Okay, this here flash over the wall means the Hands picks up another kill, and that's a 4 for 1. Jesus Christ, it did look like that was a good fight for off-roll, but oh my word.
That was... it was very dangerous because we both kind of assumed that there was a steal possibility, but that team fight and now the Baron going into their favor as well as getting a push mid lane and getting that turret mid as well.
Yeah, you can't outsmite Nunu unless you're SS friendship on Zera.
Oh boy. Oh, but we have a TP here.
Okay, maybe not looking to hand this over for 3. Nasus, it is Nasus, and he is running into the pit, but this is looking a bit dangerous. The entire team is there, and you are alone. Maybe looking just by time, but it's a little bit too late, and it just ends up with nothing. They're just going to fall back after getting the Baron.
Yeah, I think the logic there was that he was trying whatever he could to persuade them to stop the Baron, to try and maybe bait to get himself killed, because the rest of his team was running at hyper speed to the Baron, but again, it's the decision making that is impressing me so much with Ruin Kings. It's the map movement decision making, the collapsing, and then also here it's like, wait, we don't need to be afraid of this Nasus. We don't care. Let's go back to Baron and make sure we get this. And after that, we're not going to engage on you. We're going to back off. We won a team fight, so we're sitting on a shit ton of gold, and we've got the Baron, which is giving us gold even further. So now let's just back off, reset, get our items, because if you're sitting on gold, that is not a gold lead, that is actually substantial. And then it's just the decision making of Ruin Kings in this game is very impressive to me.
Yeah, definitely. And it's just this like chokehold that you see from teams, and this is so important to what makes a good team better, in my opinion, is the easiest way to explain it. Is when you have this lead that you can create through these plays that your team is capable of, pushing that and pushing that and pushing that is so important. And slowly bleeding this gold lead over the course of the game bigger and bigger to the extent where now it's a 10k gold lead. 10k gold lead is very substantial. That's the type of gold lead that you see and you're like, okay, even if they do get these perfect fight that they're looking for, is 10k gold difference just a bit too much?
Yeah. And now I would like Ruin Kings to be able to at least break one part of the base to try and get an inhib for the next Drake, because that will give them a lot of priority. But it looks like they're going for an engage.
Hey, yeah, immediately getting the... Oh, okay, Callow gets another hook. Seraphine not coming through, but it doesn't mean much when she's just getting chunked out by the TF just for the autos alone. Volleybet all going to turn off the tower, and this is all looking a bit doomed now for the side of Off-Roll Aquarium. Ruin King's going in more. Luke Carolina trying to get the call on Bran, but Bran's going to answer back and deal enough damage to maybe just take out Luke. But the flash forward from February, making sure to kill the Seraphine, and maybe looking for more on Brother Crow, but just going to go back to the inhib and say, okay, look, we can just end the game here. You've got 3 people dead. It's just a Nasus and a Brand alive, and...
Yeah, they're going to safe route. They're going to safe route. They're making sure that they get 2 inhibs here. There's going to be massive, massive pressure. As
oh my god, you're so good, Callow! Oh my word, Callow has been a monster this game. Yeah, every hook that he's got has been insane and has just led to so much good for his team.
Yeah, Callow's been just playing incredibly well. He's not basically, he is easily the MVP. Anyone who's not voting for him is, you're just hinting, right?
I mean, there's been some Luke's, and the game's not exactly over just yet, but I think it might be if they just look at those cannon minions. The game looks like it will just be over here, and we'll go to Ruin Kings.